The conservative case for Taylor Swift. I know, that was the old headline National Review used to always use when they were trying to justify something as conservative, and I thought I would play on that. But I'm kind of serious. I'm kind of serious, and as a disclaimer, I don't know hardly anything about Taylor Swift. You could play one of her songs, I would have no idea, because I'm not like a 14-year-old girl. I don't listen to pop music. There's nothing wrong with it, though. If you enjoy that sort of thing, that's cool. I just know her image. I've kind of known about her for years. I think she started as like a country music star, somewhat Christian, and then she got into pop. And the first time I saw her in a political realm, because I've done my videos since 2008, so I've been doing this a long time. And when Trump was president, there were all these articles like by Slate magazine or Huffington Post, and they'd be titled, the headline would be, "The Curious Silence from Taylor Swift Concerning Donald Trump." I'm like, what's curious about it? She's a singer, she's an entertainer, she's a carny. You know, it's like, you wouldn't ask that about some bus driver in Fayetteville that drives the school bus. The curious silence from the bus driver in Fayetteville about Donald Trump. Oh, well, why should it matter? She just sings songs. Why should her political opinions matter? But in our culture, entertainer opinions matter. Is part of the problem of democracy. I'm not a fan of democracy, but this is part of the issue, right? Just because we see someone out there and they can do a dance, or they can sing, or they look hot, they have big tits or whatever, we think that makes them an expert on political affairs. And so the Slate magazine and HuffPo and all the people on the left were really upset at Taylor Swift because she didn't really say anything about politics. And they're like, what's that? You got to say something, because silence is violence. If you don't oppose Trump, that means you're in alignment with him and you're part of the problem. And they did some subtle threats, because the left, as you guys I'm sure knows, they control almost all institutions. They control Hollywood, they control the media, they control the universities, educational establishment, most of the government. The list goes on and on and on. The big corporations. And if you piss them off, you know, it can have some impact on you and impact on your career. But if you play ball, things can go a lot better for you. And so there was a lot of pressure on Taylor Swift to get political. And here's the article that, this was in 2021, Trump's presidency forced me to lean in. Taylor Swift opens up about breaking her silence on politics. As a country musician, I was always told it's better to stay out of politics, said Swift. Well, in the good old days, that was the case. I mean, why should you have to discuss politics? She's about singing songs. I'm sure she's a bright woman, but she's probably not really that educated about the issues. So she writes her little songs, sings them. Cool, who cares, right? But there's a lot of pressure for her to say something about it. And as it said in that headline, she was silent about politics for a long time. So this isn't like a big passionate thing where she's a SJW. There was a lot of pressure on her through her agent, publicist, and all that. Like, babe, I mean, you got millions of dollars now, but if you want to make it big time, you need to play ball and get political and denounce Trump and Republicans and, you know, the whole bit. And so she did, and it really paid off, because if you look at here, I looked up her net worth. She's a billionaire. So Taylor Swift is a billionaire. She's one of the billionaires, the evil billionaire, $1.1 billion. So by playing ball, she went from a millionaire to a billionaire. She's very powerful now. She's a pop icon. So it's really paid off, you know, for her. But the thing is, I know a lot of people on the right are upset at her. And that's what the media wants. That's what the left wants, because they want to portray the right as, oh, these stuck in the mud type of guys. Years ago in the 60s, they're squares, they're not hip. And the youthful energy, they like Taylor Swift. That's what they want to portray. That's how they want to do it. They always want to put you in a box. And a lot of conservatives or Republicans or whatever, you know, they got upset. Like, there's this photo of Taylor Swift. She made cookies that said Biden 2020. was really kind of subversive in another way, though. If you think about it, from the left point of view, this is a woman, a white woman that's thin. She's baking cookies. Yeah, I know it says Biden 2020, but this isn't like Madonna, you think, you know, showing her used condoms or something, or birth control pills, or spreading her legs. I mean, she looks, take a look again. She looks wholesome. She looks like a country girl, right? And not slutty at all. And so there's a little bit of subversive element against the left just in that. I know she's supporting Biden on the surface, but if you look deeper, in a lot of ways, you can make a conservative case for Taylor Swift that is not really politically correct or the social justice warriors don't like. Number one, she's a white woman. I mean, that's considered verboten now. You got to be a woman of color. She's very white, and not only is she white, she's not like Italian or you know, swarthy. She's blonde hair, blonde, white skin, and she's not body positive. She's not fat. She's a thin white woman, and she's not all tatted up. Maybe she has some tattoos. I've never seen a tattoo on her, and she comes across as somewhat classy, and this is everything that the left is against. And now she has a famous boyfriend. He's a football player on the Kansas City Chiefs, Kelsey, I think it is his name, or something like that. And he's a white dude. And it's like, oh my God. I mean, here's a white woman that's thin, no tattoos, that is dating a white guy. He's not black or something, and she's dating a man. She's not even like transgender or gay or, you know, any of these weird pronouns. And so this is like total subversion to the left. I mean, this kind of like right-wing quality. She's almost like a trad girl, really. I know she has to say shit-lip things, and it's easy to throw rocks at her. But I mean, really, would you say shit-lip things? Would you bake cookies that said Biden 2020 if you got $1 billion? That was basically the deal she made. I mean, I would like to say I'm so pure. If they offered me $1 billion to make some Biden cookies, I would say, no, I will not do it. But man, $1 billion? I don't know. I don't know if I'd be that strong. And well, we know Taylor Swift really wasn't that strong, and she did it. But I don't know if it really matters, because really what matters, and we were talking about this on my Gumroad, roundtable is really interesting. If you're not a Gumroad supporter, by the way, join. We have great conversations. But really, young girls especially, they like to follow. Women in general tend to follow trends and so forth. And as Taylor Swift is like the top pop idol now, again, she's white, she's thin, no tattoos. You know, she's baking cookies, for God's sakes. And she's dating a white guy. I mean, there's a lot of kind of traditional things that we should like. And women, they tend to follow other women who they consider celebrities. And I remember when I was young, it was like Madonna. She was like a big slutty image and all that. Whereas Taylor Swift, I mean, maybe she's that way in her real life, I don't know. But she doesn't come across that way. She comes across as kind of wholesome. And so that's good to have that role model to the girls. That's the culture. And I think the culture is more important than the Democrat versus Republican politics. Yeah, it makes me cringe. She'll probably support Biden. The Biden regime is trying to get her endorsement. I don't think it really makes any difference, though, because the girls that would vote for Biden anyway, they're not going to change, right, because of Taylor Swift. And if someone is going to vote for Trump, let's say some woman, young woman, and yeah, I want to vote for Trump because the economy's horrible, inflation, and we're fighting all these stupid wars, crime's out of control, the border's broken, I'm going to vote for Trump. And then, oh, wait a minute, my favorite pop star, though, she's endorsing Biden. I don't think she'll change, right? I mean, you wouldn't be supporting Trump in the first place if you had unless you had some spirit of independence. So such women aren't going to really be influenced by Taylor Swift to change their vote. So on the other aspects of it, I think she can be really effective. So I have no problem with Taylor Swift. I'm not going to be the guy, oh, I'm angry at Taylor Swift, because again, that's what the left wants you to be. I'm like, great, I hope she marries this white football player. I hope they have a lot of babies. I hope she makes cookies. I mean, she says all the shit-lip things like, oh, I'm so concerned about the environment. But then she flies around in her private jet. She doesn't give a shit about the environment. And, you know, she has to say things to the left, but how she lives her life is totally different. And I think that's what we can build upon. So I'm officially not a Taylor Swift hater. I am Ramsey Paul Swiftie. Talk to you guys later.